be a screw, feel my own adrenaline. Yeah, I do just what I do, and I hope you let me in, yeah.
Hello and welcome back, fellow anime lovers, to Cypherfics. I am delighted to have you join us once again in the world of fanfiction and fantasy. This is the first part of, What If Issei, Rias Enter Digimon. Special note, this fanfic is written and a masterpiece of Bobmon on FANFICTIONnet. Do check and support the author too. Now smash the like, share and subscribe button for more. Also press the bell icon so that you never miss such great parts. Thanks for the introduction. Now let's dive into the world. I still can't believe I got transmigrated into this world, said a young teenager in his bed as he tried to get out of his bed. He stopped his futile resistance as he sighed in annoyance. Sigh. Wake up Agumon and Gabumon. I'll be late for school if you both don't get up, said the boy to his bed companion. Said the first creature as he whined, clearly not willing to wake up. Sorry Sora, said the second creature as he dragged out the first creature as it ignored the unwilling cry. Really now, Agumon, I can't be late this time you know. Sora as he left his bed toward the bathroom. I'm sorry Sora, said Agumon with a dejected expression. Sora sighed in response, but he couldn't get angry with them. Alright, go downstairs, my mom probably made breakfast already, said Sora as he coaxed the little creature. It successfully attracted both of them as they left his room not before leaving a goodbye. See you later, Sora, said both of them as they ran into the stair all the way downstairs. Sora shook his head as he smiled at his partner's shenanigan from the bathroom. He took out a toothbrush filled with toothpaste as he brushed his teeth and looked at the mirror. The current Sora Hiwajima is a tall young man in his 20s. As a child he had brown hair, though he later dyes his hair blonde as suggested by Tom Tanaka in middle school. He is usually seen in his suit with blue sunglasses. Sora couldn't help but think about his new life about 15 years ago. Before coming into this world, he was nothing more but a normal human with no power. He lived on Earth and more precisely in Japan doing a 966 job after he graduated from university. It was an exhausting and monotone life. Luckily, the Earth was filled with entertainment that filled the little void of his Earth. Yes, Sora was an orphan in his last world from a tragic accident. His parents and little sister died from a car accident. This accident devastated Sora a lot. He almost ended his life, if not for his friends' moral support. Family was everything for him. He couldn't accept not seeing his family anymore. But he kept going forward with his friends' help. Sora knew his family wouldn't want him to join them so soon. But luckily, in this world, he has a family again. He could finally talk with his mother, father, and his little sister again. He cried a lot from this revelation. After calming down from his emotion breakdown, he thought about it. All he could remember was his exhausting project for tomorrow. Did he die from overwork? He didn't want to think anymore. How shameful. As for why, he got suddenly transmigrated into this body. Sora bet of the fact that when he crossed through this world, the 5-year-old Sora of this world couldn't handle the stress of awakening his sacred gear and, more precisely, the Annihilation Maker. That's right everyone, Sora got transmigrated into the world of Highschool DxD. A dangerous world filled with supernatural monsters ranged from gods, magics, devils, angels, yokais, dragons, evil guys and more importantly Bub. How ridiculous to think that the main characters relied on Bub to become stronger. Luckily, he got a powerful sacred gear when he came into this world. Talking about sacred gear. Sacred gears, also known as God's artifacts, are items with powerful abilities bestowed upon humans by God of the Bible. Sacred gears varies from the common twice critical to the rare sacred gear Twilight Healing, with the only exception being the Longinus, which are all unique in their own way. If a sacred gear is removed from the owner, they would die. Humans or human hybrids are the only species able to be born with sacred gears, however, they maintain them upon their reincarnation into devils and angels. The fallen angels from Grigori devised a ritual able to extract a sacred gear from the original owner and use it for themselves. This results in the death of the original owner. It is possible for a person to own more than one sacred gear at the same time. However, this almost always happens because the individual comes to a second or even more sacred gear through irregular circumstances than through BRTH. The sacred gear he awoke, the Annihilation Maker, also known as Demonic Beast Creation, is a top-tier Longinus wielded. The sacred gear is known for his ability to grant the user the ability to create an assortment of creatures based on their imagination. As such, the more powerful the user's imagination, the more powerful the creature is upon its creation. After Sora integrated with the memories of the old Sora, he became more resolute about protecting his family from this crazy world. There is no way he would let them get killed by some stray devil or crazy psychopath. This is a vow for himself and the old Sora. Sora was filled with ambition when he thought about the power of his sacred gear. The ability to create an assortment of creatures based on their imagination. He couldn't help but salivate at this. Sora was a big fan of Digimon before crossing into this world. It was also something he enjoyed watching with his little sister when she was still there with him. He decided in a few seconds as he was determined to create his own Digimon, or also known as Digital Monster. Digimon, short for Digital Monsters, is a Japanese media franchise encompassing virtual pet toys, anime, manga, video games, films and a trading card game. The franchise focuses on the eponymous creatures, who inhabit a digital world, a parallel universe that originated from Earth's various communication networks. He got excited at the thought of creating some powerful or CC Digimon. Sora imagined destroying his enemy with a powerful Omnimon or spend his time with the CC Angewoman and Lady Devimon. Digimon are not some ordinary fish. They are very powerful creatures, as some could destroy the world or even more. He thought little of the consequence and tried to create his favorite duo. Agumon and Gabumon, the all-time mascot. Agumon is a reptile Digimon. It has grown up and become able to walk on two legs, and has an appearance like a tiny dinosaur. Because it is still on the way to adulthood, its power is low, but as its personality is quite ferocious, it doesn't understand fear. It has grown strong, sharp claws on both its hands and feet, and shows its power in battle. Gabumon is a reptile Digimon. Although it is covered by a fur pelt, it is still clearly a reptile Digimon. Because of its extremely timid and shy personality, it always gathers up the data which Garurumon leaves behind, and shapes it into a fur pelt to wear. Because it is wearing the fur pelt of Garurumon, who is feared by other Digimon, it fills the role of safeguarding itself because of protecting its body. When it is wearing the fur pelt, its personality does a complete 180 shift. These two were the first Digimon he created when he just crossed into this world. He was so happy by his creation that he woke up his family. They came into his room and saw Agumon and Gabumon. Sora's mother and father were very shocked to find two random creatures in their son's bed, while his sister was excited at the sight of Gabumon. She ran toward Sora amidst her parents' warning as she petted its fur. Sora scratched his head at the scene he created, but luckily his parent accepted the situation with a brief explanation from him. While his confused, Digimon entertained Sora's little sister. Sora was happy that his parents could adapt their life with Digimon created by their son. This next 5 months got hectic with balancing teaching life and getting stronger. His mother was happy when he got a diploma even if he had magic. Moreover, the sacred gear manifested as an empty Digivice when he awoke it 15 years later, but now Sora is 20-year-old with his Digivice filled with many Digimon ready to destroy the world with his command. Sora shake of his head as he came back from his mind as he ended his toothbrushing. He changed his clothes into his suit as he thought of his next action. He currently lived in Kuo and saw little Issei running around the town. He knows that Issei is currently 12 years old, so canon will start in 5 years. He is currently the English teacher at Kuo, and while the main casts might be trouble, they were a good bunch of people from the animation. But this is the real world, not a fiction. He needed to meet them without tipping them wrong and know about them. He could reap some benefits while being ally with them and the future DxD coalition. He wouldn't mind meeting Akino Himejima. Sora slapped his cheeks to keep his mind straight from those lewd thoughts. Not the time, Sora, not the time, thought Sora as he left his room toward downstairs with his family. Good morning everyone, said Sora as he came downstairs as he saw his family in Digimon at the table. Their ears perked up at the sound of Sora's greeting as they welcomed Sora warmly. Agumon simply waved his hand back with his mouth full of food at Sora and went back to eating more. Sora shook his head at Agumon's greeting. He expected little from this glutton seriously. At least Bobmon greeted him with his mouth empty but also went back eating. Sora sighed at his partner's usual greeting at breakfast. Those two are really similar, thought Sora. No wonder they could become Omnimon in the future. As Sora was about to take a seat, he suddenly got ambushed by a cute little girl. The little girl grabbed hold of Sora's leg as he smiled warmly at the ambusher. It was Sora's little sister. Her name is Kabato Hiwajima. This little bundle of energy is one of the most important person in the world for Sora. Kabato has golden blonde hair and blue eyes. She mainly keeps her hair flowing down, but still has 2 small horse tails from each side. Kabato is currently dressed in a pink shirt and a skirt, and she is currently carrying a patchwork stuffed rabbit. Kabato was currently hugging Sora's leg as he bent down and took her in his hand. He walked toward his seat with his sister in hand. As he sat down, he inspected at the table current situation. His father, Arata Hiwajima, greeted him as he didn't look up from reading today's newspaper. His mother Aoi Hiwajima is currently carrying food toward the table as she greeted Sora in a hurry. Not before going back into the kitchen and his loyal partners, let's not talk about them. Sora soon got his attention, attracted by his sister as she pulled Sora's cheek. Oops, looks like he got her annoyed by not paying her attention. Indeed, as soon as Sora looked at his little sister's face, he saw Kabato pouting with a little tear coming out of her eye. Nian said Kabato with a small grievance as Sora ignored her for after picking her up. Her small outburst attracted everyone's attention as they all glared at Sora. Even his 2 partners. Well, at least it's good to know that everyone care about Kabato. Sorry, Kabato, I got a little distracted there. Please forgive your big brother, will you? Said Sora as he looked at his sister. Kabato blinked as her face brightened up as she saw her brother talking to her. Kabato loved her brother Sora a lot. Sora always spoiled Kabato since he crossed into this world. Kabato put her hands on her mouth as she giggled happily. His family at the table nodded in satisfaction as they saw Kabato smiling again as they returned to their previous state. Sora shook his head at his family as he continued to talk with his little sister. Forgive you, Nitan. Love you too, Nitan. Said Kabato as she hugged Sora's neck. She soon released Sora's neck as she remembered trying to say something when Sora didn't respond to her. Oh. Almost forgot, exclaimed Kabato, as Sora got a little curious about his little sister's small exclamation. Sora tilted his head in puzzlement as he waited for his sister's explanation. Hee, good morning Nitan, said Kabato with a big smile on her face. Sora was a little stunned by his cute little sister. Sora hugged his sister back as he showered her with a light embrace. He missed those brief interactions with his little sister back in his old world. He was glad to experience it again in this world. Even after all these years, he will never tire of this little cutie in his arms. Good morning to you too, Kabato, said Sora with a smile on his face. Their little siblings' moments brought a smile out of his father as he folded the newspaper. The same could be said to his mother, who was finally seated in her seat. They got ready to eat as Kabato didn't move from her brother's arms as they ate on the same plate today as well. The family ate pleasantly and finished soon enough. Sora's father had to go to work and Sora himself will start his first day as a teacher at Kuo Academy. Sora has to expand his influence and power in the world. Sora's current influence in the supernatural world is currently minimal. Sora's other Digimon are currently working for both sides of the world. In the ordinary side of the world, most of his Digimon are doing some simple hacking task as long as they got paid. While in the supernatural world, he created a Digimon mercenary squad working for most supernatural factions. But he usually took tasks from the Grigori and the Yokai factions. They paid Sora generously and Sora and his Digimon completed their task well, so they made a sort of alliance. This current alliance is a great boon for him and his Digimon. The Grigori can provide materials with discount for Sora or buying Sora's unnecessary items. Moreover, the Yokai faction also provided the same benefits and senjutsu guidance. Sora didn't know why the Queen of Yokai herself helped him personally. She gave Sora a very charming impression. Even now, he couldn't help but think about her. Sora silently promised in his heart to visit Kyoto again. As for his current strength, Sora is nothing more but a peak high class according to the DxD power gauge. This is, of course, without his Digimon in the calculation. While it might seem depressing as a human, Sora believes he will surpass anyone in this world with his own hands. Humankind has their own limitation, but Sora is someone with a Longinus, a god-killer artifact. Sora is a transmigrated soul from a world with multiple anime, movies, games that he can take inspiration from. He will grow stronger and break the shackle of his race. Hey Sora! You should leave soon and you can't be late as a teacher, shouted Sora's father as he shouted at him from the door as he prepared to leave. This cry woke up Sora from his thinking state as he took out his phone. He saw that school would start soon. He better leave now and prepare for his first class. Thanks Dad, I'll leave soon, said Sora as he stood up from his chair with his little sister in his arms. He completely ignored her cute pout. Sora gave his sister to his mother as he left for his room. He needed his bag with his stuffs inside for school. I'm leaving Mom, Sister, and Agumon, said Sora as he left the door with Gabumon entering the Digivice. He left Agumon with his mother and sister for protection while he take Gabumon with him at school. As for his dad, he left him with his third Digimon that is probably sleeping on his dad's phone. As Sora left the door, he saw his sister in his mother's arms and Agumon beside them as they waved him goodbye. Sora waved back with a smile as he looked at the sky. He took a deep breath and couldn't help but think that it would be a good day. Sora arrived at the Kuo Academy's gate filled with girls. He couldn't help but notice those looks given by the students. The current Kuo is an all-girls school and not the co-ed like in the animation. But it would soon become a co-ed school by the intervention of Sona Citri and Rias Gremory in 3 years. There are few teachers at Kuo, so the students are very interested in the sudden appearance of a teacher at their school. Sora was a definitely handsome young man that naturally satisfied those young girls' fantasy. However, Sora soon noticed the numbers of students getting bigger and bigger as they surrounded him. Sora stiffed a smile as he hurriedly walked inside the building. He didn't want to get entangled with those hormonal kids. Sora didn't waste his time as he found the faculty room. He saw his fellow teachers as he saw someone waiting in front of the door. The female was really familiar to him, but she shouldn't be here in DxD. If he remembers right, this woman should be Shizuka Hiratsuka from Oreguru. Shizuka is a tall woman with long black hair that falls over her shoulders and reaches her shins. She has unkempt bangs that cover her purple eyes. She is usually seen wearing a lab coat over her work uniform, a black vest with a dress shirt underneath, black pants, and a tie that she wears loosely. Sora scratched his head in puzzlement but took the bullet and tried a communication. Hiratsuka noticed Sora approaching her. As Sora saw her expression brighten up a little. Sora saw her coming at him with a little of joy. "Hello, my name is Shizuka Hiratsuka, I'm a modern Japanese teacher at Kuo Academy," said Hiratsuka as she introduced herself to Sora as they shook hand. Sora naturally introduced himself to Hiratsuka. "Ah. So you are Sora Hiwajima, the new English teacher. I'm the teacher that is supposed to help you for your first day at work. So if you need to know something, you can ask me," said Hiratsuka with a little of enthusiasm. Well, Sora took her offers with great interest. This was his first day at work and as a teacher. He needed to know more before starting his job. Hiratsuka and Sora entered inside the faculty room as they chatted between themselves. Hiratsuka showed Sora his own space with his desk and everything. Sora noticed many of his colleagues inside the room. He saw 3 males in the corners of the room. He acquainted himself with those 3 teachers. After all, with so many females in the school, those 3 guys could make him feel a little sense of unity. He excused himself from Hiratsuka as he stated his reason. Hiratsuka simply smirked in response and left Sora with a wave not before getting his numbers. Sora simply scratched his head with a small laugh. Sora walked toward those 3 people as they quickly noticed Sora's figure coming at them. "Yo! So another one joined this school. Teacher 1. Hey, nice to see another guy here. Teacher 2. Finally, another young BLD here. Teacher 3. Sora scratched his head with a smile as he noticed their overwhelming greetings. "Nice to meet you guys. My name is Sora Hiwajima, the new English teacher," said Sora as he shook everyone's hands. "Oh. The new English teacher, no wonder why. I didn't see Hinata today," said Teacher 2 as the news surprised him. The 2 guys next to him shook their head in disbelief. "Really, Junikura? Didn't you notice Hinata's big stomach? She took a maternity leave recently, and we even threw a party for her leave," said Teacher 1. "Ah. She was pregnant. I just thought that she gained more weight lately," said Junikura carelessly. "DMN otaku," muttered Teacher 3 but got noticed by the now ticked-off Junikura. Hey! Hey! Now you gorilla, that's a low blow," said Junikura with a glare. His words ended up angering the supposed gorilla of the group. "Gorilla, you are the gorilla, your entire family is a gorilla," shouted the now angry gorilla. "Ah! You want a fight?" responded the angry Junikura as he pulled the sleeves of his coat. "Bring it on, you DMN otaku," said the gorilla. Now calm down, you guys. Didn't you forget about the newcomer, and don't forget to introduce yourself," said Teacher 1 as he calmed his friends. "Don't mind them too much, Sora, the red-headed idiot over there is Junikura Kagami, the science teacher," said the guys as he pointed to the now sulking Junikura. Kagami has red hair that appears to be tied in a ponytail, blue eyes and black rectangular glasses. He often wears his lab coat over a shirt with a hoodie, but puts the hood above the lab coat. The big guy over there is Takashi Oashima, the PE teacher. He has short, spiky, blue-black hair and a very angular face. He has very narrow brown eyes. He usually wears a white t-shirt and a yellow track shirt with blue and white stripes. There is usually a whistle around his neck. "Ah! I forgot to introduce myself, didn't I? My name is Noboru Taki, the music teacher," said Noboru as he waved his hand. Taki is considered an attractive man because of his unkempt dark hair, deep blue eyes, and slim form. He is popular among the school's girls because of his good looks, and he is quite tall. Taki always wears highbrow half-rimmed glasses. He wears short-sleeved button-ups under sleeveless sweaters and khaki pants. "Nice to meet you guys," said Sora as he got introduced to everyone. The atmosphere became a little easier after this small interlude between Junikura and Takashi. Sora got even more information from his 3 new friends. Taki confirmed suspicion, as they were the only male at Kuo Academy currently. They talked a little more before Sora left for his first class, not before getting everyone contacts. Ah. My next class is starting soon. I'll leave with Sora. See you at dinner, guys. Said Taki as he watched his watch. Janikura and Takashi waved them goodbye as they went back to their talk. Sora and Taki said goodbye to the other teachers in the faculty room as they both separated for their own class. Sora stood in front of his first class of the day. He is teaching the first year as his first at Kuo. He hoped it would go well today. Sora also wonders if he would meet other familiar characters. Sora took a deep breath as he heard the bell ring through the school. It's now or never, said Sora as he opened the door. He peeked his head first and saw all of his students already in their seat. The girls noticed Sora's head as they became very excited. Sora noticed this as he withdrew his head as he entered the room. Sora was walking toward the podium in front of the classroom. As he walked through, he saw a lot of interesting expression. Sora saw a lot of blushing girls, red-faced girl, some weird gazes on him, and fortunately there were some girls that were normal. Sora sighed in relief. At least his class wouldn't be filled with hormonal young girl. He smiled at his first students. That triggered a kaya from most of them. Sora's eye couldn't help but twitch in response. That was the very first anime effect that he received since he came into this world. This is a very novel feeling. Sora put his finger in front of his mouth as he asked for silence from his students. It did its job easily, as everyone closed their mouth in anticipation. Sora couldn't help but give them a wink as he turned his back to the blackboard. This action attracted another round of cry from his students. While those girls were cheering for having a handsome teacher as the first class at Kuo Academy, Sora was cringing very strong from his action as he held his forehead with his hand. DMN, I can't believe I actually did that. Thought Sora, as he took a peek behind him. He saw even more exaggerated actions performed by those girls. As some took a picture with their mobile phone. Normally, he would take action and confiscate it, as they were still in class, but this is something he caused. So he turned a blind eye. Sora took a chalk near the blackboard as he wrote his name on it. The students noticed his actions as they stopped their movement and watched Sora's writing. No way. They were very excited to know more about Sora. For young girls like them, a handsome teacher is a deadly poison. Sora and those first years at Kuo were 4 years apart. Not that they knew for now, but some students would definitely love this forbidden relationship. Sora finished writing his name on the board as he faced his students. Sora saw they were silent and waiting for him to continue. He couldn't help but nod his head in satisfaction. Good morning, like you can see on the board. My name is Sora Hiwajima. I'm Koa's new English teacher, so we will see each other again for the next 2 years. Said Sora with a smile. The classroom erupted in cheers, as they couldn't believe in their luck. To see a handsome teacher every day for 3 years is a blessing for those handsome seeker face girl. Now, calm down, girls. Class is still in session or I'll have to punish in the first day of school. Said Sora as he triggered the classroom even more than some students were having nosebleed. Sora couldn't help but being stunned by this outburst as he thought back of his action. He observed his classroom and saw a lot of students daydreaming. He really wanted to punch himself in the face. DMN, did I unconsciously trigger some of their fantasy, thought Sora as he tried to keep his students' attention on him again. Sora coughed on his hand as he gained everyone's attention on him, even the daydreaming one. Sora ignored everything that just happened as he continued with his introduction. Now is the first day of school, I won't start this lesson now. After all, we will see each other for the next 3 years and I would love to know everyone's names. And English won't be too strong in the first year, so we can relax a little. Said Sora, as his speech gained the approval of all the girls. They all nodded their head rapidly, as if it scared them that Sora wouldn't notice them. He couldn't help but chuckle a little at their cute reaction. Sora's little chuckle made his popularity soaring even better among his students. "I'll start first as an example, so don't worry too much," said Sora as he went in front of his podium as he leaned on it. He hummed a little, thinking about what saying. He looked at every single face of his students. It took him a brief minute as the students waited patiently for Sora to start. Sora suddenly snapped his finger as he started his introduction to his little cute students. "Well, like you heard, I'm Sora Hiwajima and I'm 20 years old this year. My birthday is on the 23rd of December," said Sora as he thought about more stuffs to say. He continued his introduction after a slight pause. He didn't notice that he attracted a lot of attention and passionate gaze on him when he said that he was 20 years old. Some girls thought about a possible forbidden love. "I read a lot of books, so you can say I love reading. I have a cute little sister at home with my mother waiting for me, and I have another sister younger by 2 years abroad. I don't enjoy eating tomato much. Well, that's all I can't think for now," said Sora with a smile as he looked at his class. "So does anyone have any question for me?" said Sora as he waited for some raised hand, and in the hand he saw the entire class raising their hand in hurry. "Ooh boy, that will be a long day," thought Sora as he touched his forehead. So for the next 30 minutes, Sora got asked many questions as he kept answering them. He couldn't feel his throat getting dry from all the speaking, so he ended it with the next question from the student that attracted his eyes from the moment he stepped inside this classroom. You this student over there with the twin's tail, please introduce yourself and you can ask a question after that," said Sora as he pointed at the girl with twinkle eyes. The said girl rose from her seat as she started talking. "Hi sensei, my name is Serafal Citri and I'm 16 years old this year and my dream is to be a magical girl," said Serafal as she twirled in place. Her introduction simply made Sora's eye twitching even harder. Isn't that the name of the current Leviathan on the devil's side? And the sister of Sona Citri? What the hell are you even doing here? Are you not busy as a Satan? And you are 16 years old. How shameless can you be, thought Sora as he spitted in his heart. He didn't know why, but after his thought ended, he saw Serafal's gaze on him suddenly condensed on Sora even more. Sora suddenly straightens his body by reflex. They kept looking at each other as Serafal smiled cutely as she tilted her head. Meanwhile, Sora couldn't help but feel the sweat on his back. DMN. There is no way she heard me, right, thought Sora, but he decided to never slander her in her presence. After all, he was currently too weak right now to win against Serafal and he didn't want to implicate his family in this mess even deeper. Nice to meet you Citri-san. You can ask your question now, said Sora as he stiffened a smile at Serafal, who kept her cute, innocent face. You can call me Saratan teacher, said Serafal as she suddenly made a pose as she pointed at Sora. Sora couldn't help but feel a headache growing as he identified the number one troublemaker for the next 3 years. What kind of shitty luck is that? Why do I have to deal with this girl? Please devil take care of your Satan. Funny joke Citri-san, now please your question, said Sora with a deadpan face. Sensei, that was not a funny joke, responded Serafal but got cut by Sora's firm answer. Please your question Citri-san, said Sora as the classroom descended in silence. Serafal was pouting in displeasure, but Sora didn't really care about her and wanted to end this farce now. Meanie, I wanted to know if Sensei is single, said Serafal with a wide smile on her face that instantly attracted everyone's attention. He really needed a smoke after that, thought Sora as he rubbed his forehead. Fortunately would end soon. Yes, Citri-san Sensei is currently single, said Sora as the class erupted in cries even harder than before. Kaya. Sora sighed at this and gave a glare to Serafal as she simply ignored. Sora's glare. She sat in her seat as if she did nothing. She gave Sora a cute look full of innocence. What a drag, thought Sora, as he tried to calm everyone. There was still a little time before the end of class. He continued his speech as the students were finally calm until the end of class. Sora is currently eating inside the faculty room with the ramen he bought from the cafeteria. He wasn't eating alone as he ate with his new colleague. So, how was it Sora as the new English teacher, asked Janikura as ate his tonkatsu. Both Noboru and Takashi were interested as they both looked at Sora. It was a very novel experience, said Sora with a frown as he continued to eat his ramen. His answer confused Janikura and Takashi, while Noboru understood Sora's feeling perfectly. He nodded silently at Sora as he patted his shoulder. Noboru's action only made Takashi and Janikura even more confused. As expected of Noboru, I guess, thought Sora as he took a peek at Takashi and Janikura. They weren't bad-looking person, but if you were to compare them to Sora and Noboru, there is an enormous gap in the eyes of young girls. Both Sora and Noboru decided to their fellow friends' question about it. So do you guys have another class for today? Said Sora, as he was interested in his friend's schedule. Sora just finished both morning classes. He didn't have any class this afternoon, so he could go home right after eating. His question just triggered a succession of sigh from his friends. Lucky BSTRD, said Janikura as he bit his tonkatsu with more energy suddenly. Yeah, said Takashi as he did nothing but stare his soup. Said Noboru, took his glasses off as he cleaned it. Sora stopped talking as he focused on his ramen. Their group just went silent at this moment, but soon got broken by Takashi's evil plan. I'll just make them run a few laps, to be honest. They are my last group for today, said Takashi out loud as he continued to eat while ignoring his friend's deadpan face. Dude, said Janikura with disbelief as he examined Takashi's face, trying to find a flaw. He can't believe it was the real Takashi. This sudden black belly comment from his friend stunned Noboru. After all, they both joined Kuo Academy at the same time. I'm sorry, please don't blame Sensei, thought Sora as he prayed for those students. They would need it, as Takashi awoke to a new evil taste. Sorry, I was just joking, said Takashi as he laughed a bit. Janikura, Noboru and Sora both exchanged a glance as they shook their head. It wasn't their problem, and it's the job of the young to deal with the unexpected from their teacher. Thank you for the food, said the four of them as they left their place. Sora had to leave as he finished his shift for today. While Takashi needed to go for his next class with his evil plan, Janikura needed to prepare something for his 2 afternoon classes, and Noboru had more time before his last class of the day. See ya, Sora, said Takashi as he waved his hand and left the faculty room. Goodbye Sora, said Janikura as he left in a hurry. Tomorrow, Sora, said Noboru as he left with a carefree attitude as he whistled. Sora watched his friends leave as he shook his head. He needed to finish some duties before going home, and we're talking about supernatural duties. He left the faculty room not before saying goodbye to the teachers inside the room. It would be a long day, thought Sora, as he left the school to his secret hideout. Sora arrived in a forest near Kuo as he walked inside it for a few minutes. Sora stopped in front of a wall as he put his hand on it. Nothing changed yet as Sora surrounding put his hand on the wall. Soon enough, the wall touched by Sora became blue as it began to glitch and binary number soon appeared in front of Sora. 0101011010. The numbers soon disappeared, leaving no trace of its existence as a gap appeared in front of Sora. Sora thought little of it as he entered inside of it, and as soon as Sora left, the wall behind him came back to his previous state. It was as if everything that happened here was nothing but a short illusion. In short, Sora entered inside of a familiar dimension he created with someone. Sora's vision was soon filled with a white room filled with lights. The room was filled with 4 stands with a hologram on top of them. In the center of all that, we can find a lot of computers for a giant server. But, the real eye-catching in the white room is the young woman inside the room as she sat on the chair with a cat beside her. Sora knows her, and she also knows about Sora. This is not their first meeting, as they exchanged multiple talks before. The woman is Mirai Mikagura. Mirai is a young woman with fair skin, purple eyes, short purple hair, and a large bust. She wears glasses with purple hexagonal lens, a white buttoned shirt with long puffy sleeves, and a pocket on the left side of the chest, a purple bow tie, a black dress that stresses her melons and is open in the back with the straps forming an X, black stockings, and high white boots with purple shoelaces and black soles. She usually carries a purple laptop. Mirai is Sora's own person who is in charge of the Digital Monster Laboratory or DG Lab. Mirai and Sora are both childhood sweethearts. They met each other through their parents' friendship as their relationship developed through the years. As for why Sora put his friend Mirai in charge of the DG Lab, it came from an encounter with a stray devil. In short, they got ambushed by 2 nasty stray devils. They wanted to eat them as Sora wasn't really feeling getting eaten by them, and those strays also had to be lustful. So their sight was mostly on Mirai as they completely ignored him. Mirai was nothing but an ordinary girl with an above-average mana pool. Mirai was someone important to Sora, so he ended up summoning Agumon and Gabumon in front of her and ended up killing those nasty devils in the process with the combined power of his Digimons. Obviously, Mirai got very shocked by the sudden appearance of Agumon and Gabumon. She was so scared that she was hugging Sora the whole time, not that he was complaining, of course. After cleaning those trash, he took Mirai at his home with both Agumon and Gabumon, entering back inside their Digivice. On the way of home, Sora explained the supernatural world to Mirai. He didn't want to erase or change memory of his friends. Sora would never forgive himself for that. Mirai got hooked up at the end of Sora's explanation. She was very curious about his other Digimon. Fast forward, Sora didn't feel safe with Mirai having no protection, so he recruited Mirai for his future faction as the second-in-chief. He gifted her with 2 Salamon and a special Digimon. That soon became Black Gatomon and Gatomon, respectively. He got rewarded by an embrace from Mirai. Their relationship soon got even better. They weren't dating yet, but they were much closer than normal friends. Sora didn't regret his choice, but he felt a little guilty by bringing his soon-to-be lover inside the supernatural world. At the very least, he finally got someone else than his family to share his joy for Digimon and future plan. Sora soon came back from his sweet memory as he heard a cough coming from Mirai, who was waiting and looking at him from her seat. Sora scratched his head in embarrassment as he came toward her. Mirai rolled her eyes as she returned to her computer. Sora smiled at this minor scene as he walked behind her and hugged her from behind. He put his head beside hers as he looked at her screen. Mirai and tried to play it cool, but her reddened cheeks say something else. Mirai really loved those small actions from Sora. They stood together in silence as they enjoyed the silence between them. Regrettably, Sora had to break this silence, as he had something important to discuss. This, of course, caused Mirai to break her icy face with a pout. Sora couldn't help but laugh at her. He really loved Mirai as they both cultivated those feelings from their childhood. Sorry, Mirai, but I had something to discuss with Wisemon, so do you know where I can find him? Wisemon. He should be inside this room with Datamon. They are discussing something. Oh, and by the way, look at your DG farm. Thanks Mirai. And DG farm? Sure, I'll take a look after my talk with Wisemon, said Sora as he left her as he went to find Wisemon inside the room. Mirai propped her chin on her hands as she watched Sora enter the room. Mirai snorted as she returned to her computer. Dummy. murmured Mireille as she took a glance toward the closed door. Sora entered the room and saw Wisemon and Datamon talking about something with a bunch of open books, computer, papers and stacks of books everywhere. The room was messy from Wisemon and Datamon actions. Soon enough, Wisemon and Datamon noticed Sora inside the room as they dropped everything they were doing as they rushed toward Sora. "Sora, nice to see you here, I wonder what we can help you with," said Wisemon as he bowed in front of Sora. Wisemon is a demon man Digimon. A Digimon completely shrouded in mystery, it can appear anywhere in time and space via the book. Treating the book as a spiritual vessel, it frequently alters its shape to appear anywhere within the spaces and times which the book has connected, and it is said that its true form remains within a separate dimension. "Oh Sora, nice timing. I was going to send you the data you asked," said Datamon as he took out the strong drive next to the computer as he gave it to Sora. Datamon is Machine Digimon. It is an ultra-small therapeutic machine Digimon. It was once a vaccine Digimon used to restore crashed computers, but a strong virus Digimon, which destroyed its logic circuits and, attacked it of course, made it run wild. It reconstructs the data selfishly, even with normally running computers. "Thanks Datamon and Wisemon, I have something to discuss with you and Datamon," said Sora as he went for the couch next to him. He sat on it as his Digimon followed behind. "Please tell Sora. I will do my best to help you," said Wisemon as Datamon nodded as he accepted Sora's needs. "From a part of my memories, you saw how this world will develop and I wanted to ask you if you knew how to develop our Digimon kingdom. I'm very helpless about it. I don't know how to handle building a kingdom," said Sora, as he expressed his helplessness. He was an ordinary guy in his last world. There is no way he could do something like that, even if he crossed into this world. "Indeed, this is a problem," said Wisemon as he scratched his chin as he thought about his next words to Sora. "We are currently limited in power and numbers and have little foothold outside of Kuo's underground world," said Sora as he looked at Wisemon and Datamon. "Our funds are more or less okay for now from the mercenary squad and the underworld," said Datamon as he analyzed from the data on the computer. "Yeah. I can't create more powerful Digimon for now and I don't think we can cultivate much Digimon right now with the others in the DG farm," said Sora, out loud from his thought. "Indeed, we don't have enough Digimon right now and we can't hunt any monster wildly," said Wisemon as he understood Sora's thought. "Yeah, it would be a problem if we killed someone important or hunting in someone else's territory. We are not powerful enough to handle the consequence," said Sora as he scratched his head in helplessness. They were stuck, as they didn't know how to develop their power even more. Both Digimon and human were silent for a long time. They were thinking about a solution from their current helplessness. Just as thing was going to get worse, Datamon voiced his idea from analyzing the files in their computer storage. "Sora, I found something interesting in the storage," said Datamon as he attracted Sora and Wisemon's attention. Sora nodded at Datamon as a sign that he could continue his idea. "As you know, we saved a copy of your memories of this world in our storage, and I found something that can help us expand. In this folder about the faction in this world, I found a faction that could bring us a lot of benefits," said Datamon as Wisemon understood everything from Datamon talk. "I see, you are talking about the vampire factions, right Datamon," said Wisemon as his gold eyes flashed. "Indeed Wisemon," said Datamon as he nodded at Wisemon's question. This vampire conversation from Datamon and Wisemon made Sora excited as he slapped his legs in joy. "Of course that's right, the vampire factions. How could I forget about them?" said Sora with joy. Wisemon took this chance to expand more about the vampire for everyone as Sora and Datamon gave their attention. "From your memories, we can more or less understand their background. The vampire are divided in two factions between the Carmilla and Teeps. They are currently in an internal conflict because of the user of the Sephiroth Grawl. said Wisemon as Sora nodded in confirmation while Datamon was verifying from the data on the computer. Wisemon didn't see any objection from his friends as he continued his talk. Currently, the Teeps are controlled by Risavim Levon Lucifer in the dark as he gained a fragment of the Sephiroth Growl. So it would be risky to attack them or we will incur his wrath normally. But, luckily for us, Risavim wouldn't probably care too much if we took control of the vampire, as this old devil prefers chaos than everything else. It would probably amuse him more than anything if another chess piece were to appear in his plan. Said Wisemon as Sora nodded in agreement. This is how Sora's image of Risavim is in his heart. Risavim, an old devil and the child of the original Lucifer, and after living for this long in this world, it would be extremely boring. So he spread chaos everywhere in the world. He is nothing more but a simple madman. Risavim won't make a move toward them, or at least not personally. He would probably send a squad from the Cows Brigade or some changed beasts with the Sephiroth fragment in his hand. But our current force won't be enough if we were to raid the Teeps faction and take control of it. Said Sora, as he thought of a way. Wiseman's eyes flashed as he gave Sora a suggestion. How about an alliance with the Carmilla faction, Sora? If I remember it right from the information we have. Later in the DxD series, the protagonist and his team would be involved with the vampire and they would help the Carmilla faction. Said Wisemon as he looked into Sora's eyes. Sora's eyes shined as he thought about it. He made his own calculation as he looked at Datamon, who noticed Sora's eyes on him. He tilted his head as Sora asked him about their current strength. Datamon went motionless for a second as he gave Sora the information he asked. While their force was pretty limited, they shouldn't be underestimated at all. They still have a small reputation in this world. Their first appearance stirred a little of confusion from the world. After all, Digimon were unknown species in their eyes that suddenly appeared. Sora and Mireille and the Digimon. Sora didn't waste his time since he came into this world. Sora's current force from Datamon information was comprised of Sora himself with the strength of a low-high class and Mireille as a middle class. They could raid the Teeps family easily, but controlling it after. It would be too much with their low numbers. It would be a waste to kill all the vampires and giving up Romania. It would piss Sora off if the church were to occupy this territory after his raid. This land could bring a lot of boons for Sora and his Digimon, so there is no way he could abandon it. Sora's current Digimon were 2 ultimates, 10 champions, 50 rookies not counting Agumon and Gabumon and the 2 Salamon of Mireille. We separated the Digimon ranks from baby in training, rookie, champion, ultimate, mega, ultra. But Sora didn't want to bring all his strength into the open like that. He won't be delusional to think that this war will be silent and won't attract the outside eyes and ears. After all, if they could conquer the Teeps, it would attract the attention of everyone in the supernatural. They would be in the limelight in the future, so why not showcase some of their strength and establishing a real reputation in this world? While it might bring some negative opinion in some factions, it would definitively bring a lot of positive opinion for Sora. Even if he will show his strength, he won't be foolish enough to show his face. I need to make a move personally, I guess, huh? Said Sora as he took out his Digivice as an armored wolf warrior figure appeared inside. Lobomon. Murmured Sora as he holds his Digivice with a smirk. Lobomon is a warrior Digimon. It possesses power over light, which bears the might of ancient Garurumon. Because of the holy light, the amethyst keeps its extraordinary hardness as long as it keeps its righteous spirit, but the second a negative spirit arises in the possessor, it becomes brittle. It is the possessor of a chivalrous spirit that puts its life on the line for the things it believes in and hates injustice. Sora thought about Lobomon description. He was the best Digimon spirit that can deal with the vampires. Being able to use holy light would bring a great boon for this war. Indeed, Sora, it would be better if you were in the field during the war and it would also hone strength for the future. said Wisemon as he saw through Sora thought easily with his great wisdom. Sora nodded at Wisemon's advice as he also understood it. Sora fought little as he left most, if not all, enemies to his Digimon, and Sora also wanted to help his partner instead of being the big boss behind the scene. Sora suddenly thought of something as Datamon and Wisemon noticed Sora's behavior as they waited for Sora to share with them. I just thought of something, so how do we communicate with the Carmilla faction? All we know is that most if not all vampires are localized in Romania, said Sora as he scratched his head at this sudden discovery. The atmosphere suddenly stagnated by this revelation as Wisemon and Datamon frozen in their place. This is indeed a miscalculation in our part, Sora, and we don't know if the Carmilla would accept this alliance either, said Wisemon as he bowed his head in shame. The room became even more silent as everyone couldn't believe about this blunder. Fortunately, Wisemon found a solution after a few minutes as didn't want to bring shame as the big brain Digimon of the team. Simple, didn't we have a friendly relationship with Grigori? We could always ask Azazel with this favor and he wouldn't probably mind about it, said Wisemon as he gave Sora a look. A light bulb suddenly appeared above Sora's head as he slammed a fist on his palm. Hey, that's not bad, Wisemon, and I have his number after our many transactions. Let me find it, said Sora as he took his phone out as he searched for Azazel contact. Ah, found it. Toot, toot. Hello. Is that you, Sora? Said someone from Sora's phone as they all heard it from the phone speaker. Hey. Azazel, what's good, bro? Said Sora cheerfully as he heard his friend's voice on his phone. Azazel is the current Governor-General of the Fallen Angels in Grigori and is a tall man appearing to be in his 20s with an average build, black hair, golden bangs, and a black goatee. He also possesses 12 jet black feathered wings that grow out of his back. Oh. Sora, my homie, I was actually going to call you today for something, but do you need something from me? Said Azazel cheerfully, as he was happy with the phone call of his friend. That's right, Sora and Azazel were good friends. They met each other by accident. Sora went fishing with Gabumon and Agumon as Azazel got kicked by someone as he landed near them after breaking a couple of trees. It was a funny situation that led to their friendship. Sora was interested in meeting a big shot of this world and Azazel got interested in Agumon and Gabumon. So they bonded with each other quickly enough as Azazel joined Sora in fishing together. Unfortunately, Azazel got dragged out by his subordinate as he needed to do his work as the governor, but Azazel didn't forget to leave his contact to Sora before leaving. Oh. You were going to call me and I need your help about something, Azazel, said Sora as he got a little shy about asking a favor as he scratched his head. Ha ha ha, don't be like that. Just tell me what you need from this handsome fallen angel, said Azazel, as he laughed loudly at Sora's shyness. Well, it's like that, said Sora as he explained his problem as Azazel listened to everything. A war with the Teeps, huh, and you need me to contact the Carmilla and vouch for you, huh, said Azazel as he summarized the conversation with a frown on his face. Yeah, sorry about that, Azazel, said Sora with a sigh. Their call ended up being silent for the next few minutes. Sora said nothing as he waited for Azazel thought. Well. I don't really mind helping you, Sora, said Azazel suddenly as Sora sighed in relief from Azazel's confirmation. Sora looked at Wisemon and Datamon as they both gave Sora a thumbs up. You're a real lifesaver, Azazel. If you need something our help, just call me, said Sora as he tapped his chest to show his attitude, even if Azazel couldn't see it. Ha ha ha, I'll take your word for it, Sora, and looks like you'll be busy for the next PRD, so I won't bother you, said Azazel as he prepared to end the call. Sora suddenly thought of something as he quickly asked something to Azazel. Wait. Azazel, didn't you have something to ask me? Ask? Ah, don't worry about it. It's not that important. I wanted to. Wait a minute, I'll call you later. said Azazel as he suddenly ended the call. Weird, said Sora as he scratched his head in wonder at Azazel's sudden action. Sora's thought got interrupted as he received an SMS from Azazel. Sora hummed as he opened his SMS and saw Azazel's message. Sora read through it quickly as he understood it, the small message. What did he send you, Sora? Asked Datamon as Wisemon got interested by Azazel's SMS. Well, he gave me the number of the current Carmilla Queen and his guarantee vouch, and he said he would gift us with something that can help us during the war, said Sora as he frowned at the last part of the message. Datamon and Wisemon looked at each other in puzzlement as Sora sighed and simply closed in phone. Well, I'll call them tomorrow as it got pretty late, so see you guys tomorrow, said Sora as he stood up from his place and went toward the door. Sora didn't forget to wave them goodbye as he left the room. Goodbye, Sora, said Datamon and Wisemon as they returned to their tasks. So alright folks, that's all for today. Stay tuned for part 2. Do subscribe, like and share for more such videos. Also check out the story and author Bobmon on FANFICTIONnet. Press the bell icon to be notified first on release. See you in the next video. Till then, goodbye.